Hey, have I got a surprise for you guys today? I am really excited to share this with you. Natalie Raynes Blanton has made an arpeggio tutorial and shared it with us so that I could share it with you. And I'm so excited to do this. It was so kind of her to do this tutorial for us. Now, she does have a YouTube channel. She's got a website. She's got some nice courses. If you are interested in getting some online courses to do on your own at home, she's got several there you can take a look at, and we'll put the link in the description for you so you'll be easily able to find it and glean more and more from Natalie. But I don't want to take a lot of time. I want to jump right into the tutorial. And then any questions or comments that you have, go ahead and put them down below. If we need to break something down a little further, we will, but she's done a really good job of breaking down the tutorial breaking down the arpeggio in this tutorial that she did for us. So let's jump right in.
Arpeggios are one of those skills that when you watch a pianist who uses them effectively play them, it can look impossible and maybe even like a little bit mystical. Like, what are you playing? How do you know what notes to play? How do you fit them within the rhythm? And all sorts of questions. Today, I'm going to break them down and show you how I use them. And you're going to see that if you know the 3 notes that are in a chord, you can learn to do arpeggios. The word arpeggio means harp-like. It's actually an Italian word. Most musical terms are actually based in Italian, and this is no exception. So it sounds like a harp, which if you think about the way a harp is played, you're moving up or down the strings. You're not always playing them together. It's kind of more of that almost like a glissando effect where you're just hearing it up and down, and it's so beautiful. And that's what an arpeggio accomplishes on the piano. So I'm going to show you a few places that I use them. We're going to use the hymn When I Survey. It is in the key of F in most hymnals, so that's the key I'll play it in. You're going to see primarily an overhead view, so you can watch my hands and see exactly the notes that I'm playing to make those arpeggios fit the rhythm and the setting of the hymn that you're playing. So we're in the key of F, meaning most of our arpeggios are either going to be an F chord, or we're going to also find a G minor arpeggio and a C major. We might find some other places to do them as well, but those are primarily going to be the 3 chords we arpeggiate, the F, G minor, and C major. So I will play through a verse of this and then kind of break it down and show you where the arpeggios come from. What my left hand is doing is sort of like an arpeggio, but it's more of just a broken chord rolling pattern. The actual arpeggio action is going to come from my right hand. I will arpeggiate sometimes whenever I have a half note or a whole note, something that is longer. The arpeggio is a great technique to fill that space. And I do have several whole notes in this song on the word cross, and then on the word died, and then on the word loss in that first verse. So those are great places to put an arpeggio. When you arpeggiate a chord, you take the main ingredients of the chord. So we'll take an F, F, A, C, and I'm going to play those notes over and over again up the piano, or you could go down as well. So the F arpeggio would be, and the fingering for that is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 5, or whatever the top note is. You could go up another octave if you wanted. And then to go back down, 5, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1. Now that would be a really great triplet arpeggio, for example, on the word cross. Oftentimes, whenever I arpeggiate a chord, I will double the top note of the chord to not only be the top note of a 1 octave arpeggio, but also be the bottom note of the beginning of the 2nd octave. For example, so that changes it to 16th notes. 1 E and a 2 E And I actually started that arpeggio on beat 2, not beat 1. You could start it on beat 1. In that case, if you notice, the melody note was an A. So for my arpeggio, instead of backing it down and doing a root position arpeggio, root position meaning I'm starting on the 1 of the chord, because the melody note is an A, that's actually the 3 of the F chord, so I just started my arpeggio there. You can arpeggiate a chord starting on any note within that chord. It does not have to just be on the root. You can also change the rhythm. So for that arpeggio, I was doing 16th notes. I could do triplets. You can even change the notes that you actually use within the arpeggio. So I may take on, let's say, the F chord, I'm going to start my arpeggio on a C, and I'm going to use a C, F, G, A, C, F, G, A, C, F, G, A. And that lets me have 16th notes as well. That's just a different sound, starting on the 5 of the chord and then adding in that G, which is called the 2. It's a really pretty way to expand the sound of your arpeggio. Let's see what that sounds like. So if you notice what I did for that arpeggio, it's a C chord, but just like when I was doing the F chord arpeggio, I started on a C, which is the 5th of the chord, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now that I'm on a C chord, I'm going to start on the G. That works really well for a couple reasons. Number 1, it's just pretty. Number 2, my melody note on the word died is a G. So I'm already there. Even though I'm on a C chord, my melody note is a G. So this is the shape of my hand. It works really well to go ahead and do that 5, 1, 2, 3, 5, 1, 2, 3, 5, 1, 2, 3 arpeggio. It also connects to the next melody note. That's where I use a lot of arpeggios, is between melody notes to connect that sound. Same arpeggio that I did back at the beginning, but I did it backwards this time. Change the speed of them as well. Like the one that I just did at the end basically was, instead of going like a blocked chord at the end, I just arpeggiated it instead. And good fingering will help your mobility. So I did fingers 1, 2, 3, 5, 2, 3. No, 1, 2, 3, 5, 1, 2, 3, 5. Now let's see how that would work, maybe on the last verse, if I'm doing longer, faster arpeggios. Same system, but the best way to learn your arpeggios is to start slowly. So start with easy triplet arpeggios. Notice I'm doing a mixture of triplets in my right hand with eighth notes in my left. That kind of gives you that 2-3 balance, which not related to arpeggios, but also shows you how you can connect those two rhythms together. Eighth notes and triplets get along really, really well. Over those 4 beats, but I was starting lower so I could go faster and higher. So if I showed you triplets and 16th note arpeggios work effectively, you can also use 32nd or even 64th notes in your arpeggios, but that will come with time. As you're comfortable doing them slowly and correctly, gradually increase your speed and change the rhythm. Now, on that last verse, I probably wouldn't play every single one of those arpeggios within the exact same verse. Arpeggios are very ornamental, so you want to use them tastefully. If I do several arpeggios at the beginning, I may not do them for the entire rest of the verse. Maybe use them primarily on one half or another half or every few measures. So that way it's not too much of a good thing. So the key to arpeggios is this: learn them slowly and use correct fingering. If you have good fingering, then you're going to be able to speed up your arpeggios much sooner. If you have poor fingering or really stiff fingers and they're not curved, it's going to be really hard to do those smooth arpeggios that just sound like they just could go forever, because stiff fingers are really the enemy to good mobility in playing, because you cannot get them to move fast. You'll have wrong notes sneaking in and all sorts of things, and you don't want that. So start slowly, take them easily with all white note chords like an F, a G, or a C, and then gradually add in those chords that have a black note in the middle, like the G minor and things like that, and then increase that and practice the ones like a B flat minor, which is going to have two black notes at the beginning with the F at the top. So each one of those requires your hand to be in a little bit of a different shape. And so just gradually increase your difficulty and keep finding places to use them. Look for half notes, whole notes, places where you can connect between melody, and you'll be playing them quickly before long.